Hey, it's Alex Williams of the New Stack. Welcome to the New Stack Makers, a podcast where we talk about application development, deployment, and management at scale. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So, Orly, tell us who you are.
Wait, it's Ory, not Orly.
I'm sorry, Ory.
Orly is my wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ory and Orly?
Yeah?
That's great. So, Ory, my apologies.
That's
Tell us
okay.
who you are, and your full name, and what do you do, and who you work for.
My name is Ory Segal. I'm the CTO and co-founder of PureSec, the world's leader in serverless security. I'm from Tel Aviv, Israel. Our entire team is from Tel Aviv, Israel. My background is I have 20 years of application security. Prior to founding PureSec, I was 5.5 years serving at Akamai as the senior director of threat research, and prior to that, 5 years at IBM, leading the IBM AppScan products. And I got to IBM for a series of acquisitions. So I've been doing application security for quite some time now.
So application security versus serverless security, and we now work with other companies who are in the serverless security. We're starting to talk about security from a serverless perspective. We know, and a lot of them are like kind of in the world of like scanning container images, right? Twistlock, for example.
Yeah.
What is the PureSec approach?
So we provide an end-to-end solution that starts when you develop and build the serverless functions. We provide static analyzers to check the code, make sure that whatever you're building is as robust as possible from IAM permissions and roles perspective, third-party dependencies, checking if developers left application secrets stored in the code insecurely, so that's the static analysis part. And then we actually provide a runtime protection library that you include into your code, and that provides two layers of runtime protection. The first one is like an application firewall that inspects event data as it goes into the function, but from inside the function, which is very cool because it's completely protocol agnostic. Any kind of event that will trigger a function will get scanned very rigorously to detect SQL injection, path reversal attack, code injection attacks. And then if the input was found to be legitimate, we allow the function to start running, and then we actually monitor the execution flow of the function. What is it doing? Is it touching the file system inside the runtime container? Is it communicating or leaking data outbound to the internet? We actually monitor the behavior of the function, comparing it to the normal profile that we built for the functions. And we can say, okay, there's a very bad deviation from the normal behavior of the function. That allows us to detect more like unknown attacks, 0 days, cases where the function goes berserk and starts leaking data out to the internet. And obviously all of that, we provide a lot of visibility into the runtime, what's going on with the function. You can do a lot of forensic analysis on what's going on with the function.
So what is the technology architecture that allows you to have these capabilities to detect this? And has this been an approach that PureSec has adopted over previous generations of the technology?
Right, so the main problem with serverless is that you don't own the runtime environment, you are a guest in that environment, and being able to sit there and monitor everything very low level, as you can understand that's what we're doing, is challenging. However, it's doable. So we basically weave ourselves into the environment as part of what we provide you with the library. And when you call our library in your code, it sort of wraps around, not wraps in code, but encloses the function instance in our security environment that we generate, which is able to monitor things very, very low level. Our background is from the Army, 8200 division. We all understand, malware techniques, reverse engineering. So we use a lot of that to help secure serverless apps. And by the way, we just released a very cool free library for developers to help get developers to feel more confident. It's called Function Shield. You can download it from our website. It's completely free. And it allows you to secure the runtime and restrict the function from, for example, leaking data out. You can tell it, okay, my function doesn't need to communicate outbound ever, just with AWS for that matter. And with a switch of just a one line of config, it will do that for you, so you can either gain visibility or trust in the environment. We're hearing about a lot of people are scared from third-party libraries, open source stuff. So that way you can actually monitor functions. Yeah.
So how old is the original company then?
The company was founded in October 2016. We got our seed round in May 17. And now we're already out of beta, actually, from last week.
Are you raising more money right now?
Soon.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
So with the approaches you see, among your peers, I don't need to mention anyone specifically, what are some of the drawbacks to the approaches, for example, that we're starting to see with security approaches? There's visualization approaches, right, where you can start to kind of see the whole, the functions themselves and how they're traveling, kind of how they're running in the system. There's scanning images capability where you can start to scan the image and be able to understand it a bit better, which is a little bit different, right? But the monitoring is much different in serverless environments, right? Like, monitoring technologies that originally would just monitor the application are not as applicable anymore, because now you're looking at functions, right? And how they're operating. So what do you see kind of as the differences out there in these approaches?
Interesting question. First of all, in general, security is all about adding more and more layers and reducing the risk, right? There's no one approach that, first of all, matches every or fits every environment. Every customer, every organization has their own needs and different environments. And so I think that, for example, static analysis, scanning, libraries, third-party libraries, scanning code, that's all very important. It's not something I would skip, even though we're talking about serverless. It's application security. You need to statically scan the code to find vulnerabilities before you deploy. There's no point in just patching things afterwards, right? So even though I'm not a static analysis vendor, there are companies like Fortify and Checkmarks and those. I still very much support their approach. It's something really important, especially in serverless and especially in functions. Mm-hmm. When it comes to runtime and monitoring, things haven't changed. I think I heard somebody mention that in serverless, the cloud is like the operating system, right? And then the functions are the code. So it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's like it's a whole computer basically, and you need to treat it as such.
Yeah.
So just monitoring functions or just monitoring configurations is not enough. You have to look at the big picture and understand that this is one big system that you need to somehow.
It's like a giant node.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it could have any billions of nodes in it. Or trillions. It's an infinite number.
Even if you look at data flow analysis, for example, if we're back to the topic of static analysis. In data flow analysis, you look at how data enters the system, how it traverses the different components in the system, and then where it touches some sinks, some sensitive area. That's how you discover vulnerabilities statically. In serverless, you have functions, you have an event that brings in data. And then you have functions that each does something with the data and passes it on maybe to another function, to another component, and they glued together by these, for example, AWS cloud services. So there's no direct data flow. You can't analyze it statically like you would do with traditional systems. So for example, I have user input coming into the function, doing something, I'm storing it in a DynamoDB table, then it triggers another function. Very hard to track data flows, and I think that's one of the challenges in visibility for servers.
Well, Ory, thank you so much for taking some time. They're just packing up here, but I wanted to just have a minute to chat with you. How's the show been?
Amazing crowd. For me, it's the first year. I haven't been at the show before. First of all, the talks were top-notch, but we've been around the booths here most of the time, and the quality of crowd, the people that come down here the people are actually eager to learn more about the tools and solutions and the ecosystem around serverless, which is really cool.
Great. Well, we'll keep in touch. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Listen to more episodes of the New Stack Makers at thenewstack.io/podcast. Please rate and review us on iTunes, like us on YouTube, and follow us on SoundCloud. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.